along with sweeping the Mets and beating our rival in the St. Louis Cardinals in series 2-1. Danny, want to talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Yeah, I'll let you get the Brewers dick out of your mouth, first of all.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Central Podcast. I'm your host, Joey Maldonado, along with my co-host, Danny Grazanzio. Danny, I know there's been a lot since the first week or two in the MLB season. What do you want to talk about today?
I think we should talk about just the NL Central in general and all the teams that have been performing well, performing not so well. Why don't you give me your best team of the NL Central so far?
Yeah, honestly, the first week has been super hectic. I know there's a lot of stuff beyond the MLB, but we kind of want to focus more on the NL Central in this podcast. I mean, the two teams that have been really lighting it up are Pirates and the Brewers. I gotta throw my little Brewers love in there. The Brewers, I think, are the team of the week. Right now, they're 7-3, and they're currently beating the Arizona Diamondbacks 5-0. So more likely than not, 8-3. With the second best run differential, now the best run differential in the NL, with LA being the only team before this game, and along with sweeping the Mets and beating our rival in the St. Louis Cardinals in series 2-1. Danny, want to talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Yeah, I'll let you get the Brewers dick out of your mouth, first of all. But Pirates are the real MVP of the NL Central this week because I'm going to tell you why. They swept the Red Sox and they beat the White Sox, and as well they are tied 1-1 right now in a series with the Astros, which is notoriously considered to be the best team in the AL, maybe the best team in the league. And they are also 4-2 away, which is really impressive. And I think they're 4-3, or 3-2. They're still positive at home, but it's really impressive going into especially somewhere like Houston or you know Fenway, and being able to come out with wins. A team as I hate to say it, historically weak as the Pirates, so they're playing really well and it's exciting. Like they got some guys that are killing it. And this is a fun stat. They haven't won a division since 1992, when it wasn't even the NL Central. They won the East Division of the NL, and they beat teams like the Montreal Expos, the Cubs, the Mets, the Phillies, and the Cardinals out to make the playoffs.
Wait, you're telling me the Pirates haven't won the division
Yeah, because
since?
everyone says 2013, but they made the playoffs in 2013 because
Yeah.
Kutch's the MVP year. They did not win the division. The Cardinals won the division.
Wow.
So it's really exciting. I mean, they probably won't hold on historically, especially with their pitching. There's been some struggles, but man, it's really cool to see them playing well, especially the Cardinals not playing well. I'm happy that they're winning games. And honestly, like if the Cubs aren't going to make the playoffs, the Pirates are a team I'd root for.
Yeah,
Like they're
that's
fun.
exciting for Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
That's super exciting. And they got some guys that are playing super well right now.
yeah. And they also have the best stadium in the entire league.
Yeah,
I did
I
it.
I can attest to that. Oh, PNC is so beautiful.
It really is.
Um,
So should we talk about, or what were you gonna say, Joey?
you're beating me to it.
I'm
I was
beating
just
you to it.
gonna
All
say
right.
let's talk about some of the players
We have a
from
new
the.
segment. We should tell them about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, so it's kind of silly, but each week we're going to go through and break down the best players from each team in the NL Central, like your standout players, and then we'll have an outstanding MVP from the week as well from the NL Central. And so we have names for each section. So the Pirates are going to be the Pirates Cove. The Cardinals are going to be the Crow's Nest. The Cubs are going to be the Cubby Den. The Brewers are going to be the Brew House. And Cincy, the Reds, are going to be the Seven Hills of Cincy. So anytime we say that, it's just going to be our little breakdown of the team from that week, how they performed, some standout guys, and things they maybe could do better, because we want to cover all teams in the NL Central.
Yeah, I just want to point out to all Cincinnati fans listening, if you guys can find a better name, please let us know via DM on any social media or comment at us. That was a real struggle to try to find a name that we thought was going to be adequate enough to describe Cincinnati Reds fans. So, anyone, please let us know.
So let's go into our MVPs for NL
Yeah.
Central. I feel like it's not really close for the MVP right now in the NL Central. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't remember if you had someone.
I mean, I agree
Other than
with
yeah,
probably the first year thing.
guys, Bryan Reynolds is playing like not just the MVP of the NL Central, he's playing like the MVP in the NL right now. Um, and
Pay
I,
him.
huh?
I was saying pay him.
Seriously, I mean, you guys better try to hold on to him in Pittsburgh because he's clearly always been talented enough, but statistically he's had like spurts of these little bits of hits and home runs and defensive greatness. But then you look at the end of the year after hearing Bryan Reynolds, and he's hitting 260. You're like, what happened? So hopefully he holds on to this amazing stat sheet, and I'm gonna say it. He's at 45 at bats, 16 hits. He's hitting 356 on a 1.145 OPS, and he's slugging 778. And he is tied for the most home runs in the league with 5 home runs already, which is absurd in a week and a half, 2 weeks of baseball. He has 14 RBIs already. And this is a really cool stat. I wanted to point this out. His batting average is 356, and his on base percentage is 367 because he only has 2 walks, which means all of those stats, his on base, all the runs he scores, he has 10 runs already. He's not walking. It's because he's gotten so many hits. He's getting on base. It's not like he's drawing all these walks, and that's the reason he's performing so well. He's just hitting the shit out of the ball, and it's
That's
so cool.
ridiculous.
Yeah, like oh, I love that. I love that for him. He's always been a guy like that for years. I've talked about him,
It's
and
true.
I'm very excited to see him play well. Joey, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, he seems like the best hitter in all of baseball right now. I was talking to Danny a couple days ago because I know he was starting to really heat up, and I mean, he's just on a tear. I mean, the Pirates are they're 7-3, I think.
Mhm.
They're, I mean, they're playing lights out. He's playing lights out. I mean, he's looking like the MVP. And again, please don't call me on this. I know it's 2 weeks into the season, and a lot is going to change in the next 4, 5, 6 months. But I mean, he's a dog. Everybody knows it. Hopefully, they get that contract extension with the Pittsburgh Pirates because that'd be really cool for the Pirates organization. And he's a dog, and he'll be an all star this year. I mean, you can quote me on that. He's gonna be an all star this year, and he's really fucking good.
How about the Pirates make some off-season and or mid-season moves to try to get better? Like
Instead of
they have
selling at the
so
deadline.
much talent. Yeah, I they have so much talent, man.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if they should buy at the deadline, but they should stay. They don't need
At
to act.
least, yeah.
Yeah, like you don't need to because I know in the past they've sold and like at some point you gotta flip the switch and be like, all right, like I want to be the team that's gonna buy. Like, and I mean, it's so early to have these kind of conversations, but they have some talent and like it's cool. I mean, for me, the thing I think is cool about the Pirates is we can see Kutch back in a Pirates uniform. That's so sick.
And a little foreshadowing, he's playing really well too.
Hmm. Yeah.
Weird question, Joe. Have you seen the movie 42? Great
Yes,
movie
yeah, I have.
about Jackie Robinson.
There's
I
actually a
always
pair of shoes that I want to get. That's like it's like a Jackie Robinson theme, like Air Force. Super sick.
really
I'll send it to you after the podcast. But yeah,
okay.
super cool.
Um, I say that because I every time I think of the Pirates, I think of there's a really like problematic manager. He's like the Pirates manager. And he's one of like the more racist managers to Jackie. And there's just a scene where he's just like fucking Pittsburgh, and it makes me laugh so much every time I think of the Pirates. But they're playing well. I mean, they're ahead of my Cubbies, and the Cubbies are playing great. Like I want to see more from the Pirates. We said in the last podcast, prove us wrong. And the Reds are still down there, but they have some bright spots. But like the Pirates are way early prediction, but like let's see a positive record here from the Pirates. I mean, why not?
That'd be
That'd
interesting.
be
I mean,
that'd be cool.
everyone in the division is playing well besides the Cardinals, but uh, besides that, no. I mean, Pittsburgh and Cincy. I mean, Milwaukee and Chicago all playing really well. And again,
Yeah.
I understand it's early in the season, guys, but like the numbers are looking kind of nice. I mean, and it's not just Bryan Reynolds. I mean, I know we were
Yep.
talking about Hutch is playing really well. It sucks because O'Neal Cruz is going to be out for it's a long time. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's end of the season or if it's like a might be 4 month. I want to say.
I don't
Um,
know, and he didn't really get that good of a start to the season either, so it was kind of a bummer.
yeah, and they got. I mean, maybe they'll bring up some guys that, like we were talking
Henry
about.
Davis,
Yeah,
get him up there.
that'd be exciting. Or who's the other catcher we were talking about? Is it Ellie? No, Ellie's
No,
in
he's in
Cincinnati.
the Reds. Oh
Um,
gosh, what is his name?
why can't I? Sorry, Bryson. This is really gonna bother me
It's like
because
one of
I
the
was
best.
um
This is
gonna ask
gonna
you
bother
that.
both of us, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't.
Where is it?
Was
Andy
just talking about
Rodriguez.
Andy
Jeez.
Rodriguez. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just talking about how he's
I thought
like
he was already on the roster. I could be wrong. We're
um
already talking so much about the Pirates, Joey. Let's head into the Pirates Cove, shall we?
yeah,
That sounds so stupid saying it, but we're sticking with it.
I like it, man.
Yeah. So like we said in the segment, we're gonna go over each team's standout players from each week. And at the end of this, Joey and I are both going to give a prediction player who hopefully will go on and be the MVP of the NL Central that next week and see if we can predict who's going to play well based on matchups, based on who's hot, who's not. Um, Pirates Cove, Bryan Reynolds is the MVP. Guys, his stats are just insane, but there's some other guys on the team that we want to talk about. Joey keeps mentioning Kutch. He's back in a Pirates uniform. The guy was, at least in our childhood slash teen years, was one of the coolest guys. You could probably compare him to like Tatis before all this, or who's another like super swagged out
Oh,
guy.
way cooler entities. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, no, we don't
so
like Tatis, but I'm just trying to think, or like Julio Rodriguez or any of those guys, like
yeah,
the
that's a
guys
good.
young
I like
people are
that, the
looking
Julio
up to.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, he was so cool and so good, and like everyone loved him. He was like one of the most likable guys in the entire league. And now he's back. And he was part of like some really crappy trades, and it's just cool to see him back in a Pirates uniform. He's
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I,
he's gonna talk
I,
shit about Kutch.
no, I was just gonna say I liked him in a Brewers uniform, man. But
Oh
going
my
back to
God.
Pittsburgh is all right. It's acceptable.
He has 28 at bats. He has 10 hits on those 28 at bats. He's hitting 357 and a nice 1.36 OPS or 1.036 OPS, which is great in his veteran years. Love to see it. I would love to see him ride off into the sunset in the Pirates uniform and play great, even if it's against my Cubbies. That would be amazing. My other player is a pitcher. It's kind of a weird story. I think he's Mitch Keller is one of your starters. He has 17 innings pitched, which is a ton. I mean, that might be the most innings pitched of any pitcher in baseball right now. I
Yeah,
don't know, but like
I'd
I
be up
don't know
there.
anyone else that has that much. He's got a 3.57 ERA. But on those 17 innings pitched, he has 22 strikeouts. So he's punching people out. He's just got to get those hits down. Well, he's just got to get the runs done in general. But he also only has 8 walks on all those innings, and he's stouting a 11.2 strikeout per nine. So not necessarily Cy Young performance, but in terms of a guy you want to see be consistent in your pitching staff, he's going to give you innings, and can definitely win some just games behind him. Joey, what about you for your Pirates Cove players?
Yeah. So to dive into Pirates Cove, I mean, like we've been saying the entire podcast, Bryan Reynolds, clear hitter, like Daniel was saying earlier, 356 batting average, 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, a 1.145 OPS. I mean, I don't really need to talk about that. The pitcher that I chose for the Pirates was a little bit different than Danny's. I had Will Crow. He had a 2.35 ERA, 7 strikeouts, a 1.3 WHIP, and 7.2 innings pitched. Overall, I mean, good performance again. I know that's not a ton of innings to base off of, but he's somebody that I mean is having a good start to the season, and hopefully can keep it up for Pittsburgh.
All right. Is
All
that
right,
all you have for the Pirates Cove?
that is all I have for the Pirates Go.
All right, let us head right into the Cubby Den then. I got some good players there. Dansby fucking Swanson, man. He's this far into the season, he's hitting 400. I mean, the guy was 4 for 4 tonight, in the fifth inning in our crazy comeback against the Mariners. So he's hitting 400. He's got a .933 OPS while playing immaculate defense. I've been to 3 Cubs games now at the beginning of the season, and every time I'm there, he makes an incredible play, and it just makes me think more and more about like an early Gold Glove kind of run. And with numbers like these, I mean, he's leading the NL in average. Like, he's crazy. He's also clearly a leader in the clubhouse, and I love that. Like everyone kind of gravitates towards him. He's a World Series winner. Even though he's only 29, he's a leader. Love it. Another guy, Nico Horner, the best second baseman in the entire league. I don't want to hear it from anyone. I will die on that hill, and he is fucking proving it. He's proving all of the words I've said. Don't give me that fucking stupid shit about Jeff McNeil or Tommy Edman or Altuve, because the guy's like signing and knocking on trash cans while he's hurt. Fucking it's crazy. He's hitting 369, 841 OPS. He's playing great defense. He hit a walk-off last night. I was there. It was fucking it was electric. That's the word I'm looking for. And while I was there, I was thinking about it last night. He was the best player on the field, the entire field, including guys like Julio Rodriguez, Eugenio Suarez, Dansby Swanson, Ty France.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You're claiming Nico Horn to be the best player on the field over Julio Rodriguez.
Last night, yes. I'm saying like every time he changed the game more than anyone last night, and that's what big players do. No, he's not a better platter than Julio
Okay,
Rodriguez.
I had to,
The
I had to
guy's
confirm that because I was like, whoa.
yes, obviously. But my point is, when you watch a Lakers game, or even better, you watch an old Bulls game and you watch Jordan kind of float over everyone
Right,
else, it's
right,
clear who the best player on the court is.
right.
That was Nico last night. And
Yeah.
honestly, the other games I've been there, that's Nico. It's not even Dansby, and I love Dansby. He's playing great. I'm glad we paid him that much. Nico is that guy. The way he moves is so fluid, and every time he comes up to bat, he's doing something productive with the baseball. I will die on this hill. He is the best second baseman in the league. Tell me who's better. I'll move on. I'll move on. I got to go quick for the Cubs here. Stroman, he's got a 0 ERA. He's already got 2 wins, 12 innings pitched, only given up 5 hits. He's got 14 strikeouts, a .92 whip. His movement looks crazy. It's at the highest he's ever been on any team, Mets, Toronto. He looks so good. And I am making an early ballot for him to win the Cy Young. It's 2 starts into the season. It's stupid. That's a crazy take. But he clearly is talented enough to do this. I mean, he is the best pitcher right now in the NL statistically. No one is better than him. Come at me. Fuck
Yeah,
everyone.
let him hear social media. You heard Danny, Marcus Stroman, early NL Cy Young vote.
He's gonna get lit up next game. You know that.
Oh,
Just 'cause I said
for
that.
sure. Yeah.
I have a couple nods. I just want to finish this real quick, and then I'll let you go. I have a
All
couple
right.
nods just because they're my team. Justin Steele is also playing great. He's kind of in Stroman's
He's a
shadow.
dog.
Yeah, he's 2-0. Joey hates him because he pitches so well against the Brewers. He's also got 12 innings pitched, only given up 7 hits, a 1 whip, 1 whip, 11 Ks, and only given up 5 walks. Guy's really fucking good. And then also Ian Happ already has 10 walks on the season, and he's got a 1.10 OPS. My favorite player, I have to throw him in there. Joey, take it away.
Yeah.
Cubby done.
So with the Cubs, I mean, I agree with Danny on the Stroman, not the Cy Young thing, but I agree that he's been the best pitcher so far for Chicago, and he's been arguably a top 3 pitcher in the entirety of the NL this year. So again, I know that's early on, but I mean, like Danny was saying, 2-0 with a 0 ERA, in 12 innings pitched, a 14 strikeouts, a .92 whip. I mean, he's been incredible. He's been lights out. I don't really need to say much more than that. My player that I had was Ian Happ. I know you can make the Dansby argument. Happ hit 314. I know only 1 home run, 6 RBIs, and 981 OPS. Again, I understand the Dansby pick that you had, but I just think Happ's been a little bit more consistent than Dansby. I know Dansby was super hot to start the year and cool down a little bit, and so I know his numbers
4
are a
for
little
4.
different.
4 for 4.
That's fair. But Happ
I
was
do
the
want
guy
to point
that,
out, I got to cut you off. Joey and I just had different stats for Happ. That's because the Cubs just played, and when we looked at the
that's right.
stats, they were different. So Happ's OPS is a little lower than I just said. Anyways,
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the Cubs are playing pretty solid right now, besides their bullpen. Their starting pitching is, I guess, besides the top guys have been a little bit underperforming, but they'll be fine, all in all throughout the season. But the
Well,
hitters
Drew
are playing.
Smiley is our worst guy, I'd argue. I mean, Wisniewski's more talented, although he got lit up today. But Drew
Didn't you-
Smiley pitched great against the Mariners.
Didn't your 4 go up or your 3? Thought one of your other 2 got lit up.
Ooh, yeah, I don't want to talk about Talion.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, no.
Should we go on to the brew house, Joey? Just move on from the
Sure.
Cubs? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Why don't you give me some brew house stats?
Yeah. So the hitter that nobody would expect to be the best hitter in the Milwaukee Brewers right now would be Bryan Anderson. He's been lighting it up, batting 323, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, and a 1.081 OPS. I mean, dude's just been hitting. I mean, he had a couple home runs in the Mets series. He had one in I think he hit one in St. Louis, or against St. Louis. He's just been a dog. He's been the one random player that always plays well to start the year off, and hopefully he'll be the consistent third base spot that we're looking for. And I know with the Luis Urias injury, he's playing a lot more often, which is where I always wanted Bryan Anderson to play. I'm at the third base role, but all in all, he's fitting in well with Milwaukee. I think he's liking it the way he's hitting, and he's my hitting pick for the Milwaukee Brewers. And then from the pitching standpoint, I have Freddie Peralta. I mean, 2-0, a 0.75 ERA, 14 strikeouts, a 1 whip, 12 innings pitched. I mean, Freddie's been near perfect, and he's continued to, especially with the Brewers staff. I know Corbin has struggled a little bit. Today he's pitching well, but I know he's struggled with his first 2 starts. And Brandon Woodruff was also a close nod, but Freddie Peralta has literally been lights out overall for the Milwaukee Brewers pitching staff.
Mhm. I'll add on that just really quick. I don't like the guy. Willie Adames is playing really well. He's hitting 316. He's already got 3 home runs. He's got 8 ribbies already with a .979 OPS. Pretty fucking good. And I will slowly backtrack as we move forward, especially if he keeps playing this well. William Contreras is hitting 310. He's got 9 hits on 29 ABs. It's pretty good. He's
Yeah,
not top 10 in the NL like you said, or NL Central, but
he'll prove you wrong.
he's moving towards that, and I will backtrack on my statement the more he proves me wrong. He's playing well though. I will give him that.
That's honestly higher than I expected. That's a very quiet 310 because I know he had a couple. He had the big hit for Chicago, and then he had a big hit for St. Louis, but it's been very quiet. I guess because all the other guys, from a Brewer standpoint, I mean, I'm excited about Mitchell. I'm excited about Joey Wiemer. I'm excited about Bryce Turning. I mean, all of the rookies have kind of been the show. So
It
William
slowed down
Contreras-
though, and your veterans are starting to pick it up again.
Yeah, and that's what you expect. And
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
Mitchell just got another hit while we're talking, but let's talk about the Cincinnati Reds, Danny. Or what do we have that segment?
I
As?
have some good stuff on the Reds.
The 7 Hills of Cincy.
The 7 Hills of Cincy. The quote MVP of the Reds so far has been Nick Lodolo. He's 1-0. He's pitched 2 games, but he only got 1 win. 1.5 ERA. He's got 12 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts on 12 innings pitched, and only 4 walks. This guy is crazy. That's like Corbin prime stats, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, guy's really good.
Yeah.
Like usually when I play the Reds, when I say I mean, of course, I'm playing for the Cubs, because they're my team. But when the Cubs play the Reds, I'm like, anyone on the stat sheet, I don't care. I'm kind of scared of this guy now. I don't want to play him. That's a lot of strikeouts.
He's only 25.
Damn. I was hoping he was like 38. You know.
I know. I was curious. I was like, because I was like, I knew he was younger, but I was curious how young.
Yeah.
That's a guy to look forward to. Being a Reds fan. I mean,
100%.
He's playing out of his mind right now. I mean, obviously,
4 walks, 21 strikeouts. That is a ridiculously skewed stat. Like, good for him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's not going to keep it up, but that's incredible. To just, yeah. I mean, a 1.5 ERA, like 21 Ks and 12 innings pitch is nuts. That's ridiculous. Yeah. That's like you could lead the league in strikeouts kind of year if you kept that.
100%.
Who's your offensive player?
I have 2 quick guys. I have Jonathan India, who's hitting 316, .896 OPS with 12 hits, doing things Jonathan India is supposed to do. He hasn't done it the last couple of years. This is Jonathan India that we know. This is the guy that can lead your team into the playoffs. Focus on Jonathan India. And also Jake Fraley, a recent ad. He's only got 27 ABs, but he's hitting 370 on those 27 ABs. And in those 27 ABs, he has 7 walks, 9 ribbies, and he has a 1.42 OPS. He doesn't play every day, but clearly this guy is an impact on the offense. So put him in the lineup, coach. Put him in.
That's funny. My offensive player is none of those 2 guys.
I know.
I thought about.
You're gonna say the guy that shit on the Cubs, aren't you?
I'm talking about Spencer Steer.
Yeah.
Dude's in 314 right now, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and a 1.0 OPS. I mean, dude's been really good for Cincinnati right now. I was a player that I was not super familiar with also another young guy. So the Reds got some young guys to be excited about. Um, so I'm curious where they're going to be at the end of the season. But I mean, overall, I love the fact they shut out Chicago. I'll always root for that, no matter what team. But overall, I mean, he's been super good. Jonathan India's been super good, like we were talking about. Um, yeah, I mean, the Reds got some guys. That's exciting.
I would actually be relatively optimistic as a Cubs or as a Reds fan right now. I think we go into our last team, the Crow's Nest, as in the Cardinals.
Boo.
Boo! I know. Oh, I don't like them, but we have to cover them.
I guess.
Goldie is the best hitter on that team. Joey's gonna disagree with me. He's still the best hitter on that team. He's still the best hitter in the NL. Don't at me. He has 39 ABs, 13 hits. He's hitting 333 at a .9 or a .92 OPS, which is Goldie numbers. That's literally like take that stat line from last season, and that's what he did the whole fucking year. The guy is so good, and he's doing it again in front of our eyes. I don't know. Jordan Walker is also hitting great. 325.897 OPS with 2 home runs already, which is and 8 RBIs. He's a rookie. He just started playing and he's in the lineup and he's doing that. And he doesn't show signs of slowing down. I think he had 2 hits in tonight's game as well.
Yeah, listen to episode 1 if you want to hear us talk about Jordan Walker, because I'm very curious to see what exactly we said about it.
We were very I mean, how could you not be positive about
Yeah,
that
he's the
dude,
number
man?
4
He's like
prospect in all of
6'20".
baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was huge. It was like 6'6", 245, and I was like, my God.
I know Joey has a pitcher, a standout for this week, but looking through the stats, I did not want to give the nod to anyone. Cardinals are too good of a team to be playing this bad, so I'm just gonna give it to Arenado because he's the best third baseman of all time at this point. He's hitting 326 with 8 RBIs. That's Arenado thinks he's gonna win another Gold Glove. Like he's just gonna do
Hey, I'm curious. I mean, if Shohei can pitch, why can't Arenado?
it. He probably can. That's the point.
So for my hitter, for the Cardinals, I have Jordan Walker. Like Danny was talking about, batting 341, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, and 923 OPS. I know he was on one of the longest hitting streaks for a rookie ever in St. Louis history.
Still on it?
What is that?
Is he still on it?
I don't know. I didn't check the stats for today specifically.
He got
Um,
hits today, so that means he is.
Probably, yeah. But I was actually, to give a little context, I was at the Brewers Cardinals game where the Brewers got shut out by St. Louis, and I did see Jordan Walker's first ever home run, which was kind of cool to see. Um, so that was something that was really interesting. And then for the pitcher, who I also see shut out my team, Jordan Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery, 2-0, a 2.25 ERA, 12 strikeouts, a 1.0 whip, and 12 innings pitch. Congrats, Jordan. You're the only good pitcher on this rotation right now. The rest of the rotation is pathetic. I mean, nobody else, not a reliever, not a starter, garbage. Nobody else can say that they even like it was so bad. And I knew they were weaker, and obviously they'll get better throughout the season, but they were horrible. And as a Cardinals fan, I saw a funny meme, and it was like, I'm trying to remember the exact specific, but it was talking about how they have one of the best lineups in all of baseball, which I agree. Their lineup is dangerous. I mean, the fact that Jordan Walker's your 340 hitter, it's been like casual 8th or 9th in the lineup, and then you got shitty ass Jordan Montgomery is your best pitcher. like, and there's just wasting what could be great. I mean, maybe one of the all-time great offense. I guess the Cardinals have had some crazy offensive teams. I take that back, but yeah, I mean, overall, Jordan Montgomery playing well. The only pitcher that's playing well on this team. Jordan Walker, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado. They do things. Also want to point out, I saw Nolan Arenado's 300th home run, which was really cool. Not in the moment, but
good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah, it was cool after the fact when my team got shut out. But
I want to throw in something quick before we move on. Jordan Walker is now at 11 games, and there has literally never been someone to start their career go on a 10-hit streak, and now he's at 11.
Wow. Good
Jordan
for
Walker's
him, man.
pretty good. And now seeing this, I have this like fire inside of me that I need to hate him. Because now, like, if he's this good already, like, think about how long he's gonna torment us.
Dude, I was talking to Danny about this earlier. I was like, I just can't get away from players I hate on the Cardinals. Like, first I get away from hating Yadier Molina to now hating. I've always hated Wilson Contreras, but
I
adding
can vouch
that
for that.
and Jordan Walker's probably a likable guy, but when he's 6'6", 245 and hitting absolute nukes on my team, I'm not gonna like him. So
I years ago, I just remember Joey being like, "Oh, Wilson Contreras is leading into pitchers. He hates the Brewers. Fuck him."
hey, I still agree with that, man. Stop leaning
I,
over the plate. If you don't want to be hit.
I hate him now too.
Hey, we can agree on
All right,
that. Danny, let's talk
let's
about.
you want to do a little transition? Go for it.
All right, let's talk about the standings for the NL Central. Danny, what are your
Take it
thoughts
away.
overall? So right now for the standings, we have the Brewers at they're 7-3, and right now they're up 7-0 in the ninth inning. So probably 8-3.
Anything can happen, Joey.
That's true. The Mariners just blew a 7-0 lead to the Cubs, which is embarrassing. The
Best team
Pirates,
in baseball.
sure. So the Brewers are at 8-3. Pirates are at 7-4. Cubs at 6-4 now. Reds at 4-6. Cardinals at 3-7. Danny, what are your thoughts overall in the first week and a half?
I think it's embarrassing as fuck that the Cardinals are last in this division. Probably the worst division in baseball. And I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of it.
Hey man,
Um,
this is what happens when the Brewers can hit. When they can hit a baseball, they can have a really good record.
the Brewers, the Pirates, the Cubs, and the Reds have all beat very good teams so far too. We're
Yeah,
not beating some sorry ass teams. We're beating teams we shouldn't be beating. I mean, the Cubs are 2-0 right now against the Mariners, a team that's probably going to go deep in the playoffs this year. Like,
yeah,
I'll take it. The Pirates are sweeping the Red Sox. They're beating the Astros. The Pirates.
yeah,
Like I get the Brewers are up in this division, but what I genuinely think is going to happen in terms of a prediction is I think the Cardinals are obviously going to catch fire. There's no way they don't just light up the scoreboard. I also do think the Cubs pitching has been so bad and so good. I think it's going to even out to being even a little better because our relief pitching is so fucking bad. But like last night, Keegan Thompson looked great. He got us out of a huge jam. Like we have guys that can be good, and that's what we need. We put up 14 runs on what some people think is the best relief pitching team in all of baseball, which is the Mariners. Like our offense is so good. Like put us in second place in this division. Put us in a playoff spot. I like put us over the Cardinals. Right now, we are a better team than the Cardinals right now. Pirates, I want so bad for them to continue this success. I really do, but I just can't see happening. The most recognizable pitcher on your team is your closer. Like that's a problem, guys. Like
yeah. No, I mean
uh
the standings are going to change. Yeah, I mean the Cardinals are unfortunately they're the Cardinals. They'll heat up, but I do kind of think it's a little foreshadowing that they're not going to win the division. I obviously
would you I'm gonna cut you off. Do you think the Cubs have a better chance at this moment winning the division than the Cardinals?
no.
Fuck you.
Sorry, the Cardinals have by far the best lineup. That's not close. I think it'd be close. Though. I think to the Cubs. To be fair to the Cubs, I think it'll be closer than people will think. Like I think it'll be within 3 or 4 games.
Have you been watching those games, man? Our lineup
I
looks good.
I have I haven't. Dude, I mean, yeah, the Cardinals are gonna be. They're gonna be good. I'm not worried. I'm just happy to see that they're losing right now.
I am too.
That's what I'm excited about.
I'm too.
And the Brewers are catching heat, and our Brewers rookies actually know how to hit a baseball. And we know the Pirates aren't going to be able to hold up with their current standing being at 7-3. But again, hopefully, we're wishing for Pirates fans' sake that they'll be maybe third in the division. Maybe they'll take over the Cubs.
Hey, relax. I would love for that. The just historic ending would be like the Cubs and the Brewers are battling it out for first place, and then the Pirates end up beating the Cardinals. Like the Cardinals are like still holding on to hope for the playoffs, but then like the Pirates play them in a series and just like shit on them. Just
That'd
like
be really funny.
Bednar pitches like 27 innings straight to just like shut those motherfuckers out like
Oh my god, Mitch Keller is just pitching a perfect game. Like
every time. Yeah. Anything to stop the Cardinals. Although we still need to cover the Cardinals in this podcast as much as we hate them. They're just our rivals, man. Like,
yeah,
what are you
we
gonna
got some bad
do?
blood.
Yeah.
They're still good. I mean, they're probably going to win the division, but I'm still going to say Milwaukee.
All right. let's do our standout players prediction.
Yep.
So I think we mentioned this before, just in case anyone missed it. This is going to be us predicting the MVP of the NL Central for this next week, and we're just hoping we can be uh, absolute geniuses and predict one, and we win absolutely nothing if we get it. But anyways, Joey, your standout player prediction.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with a name that we had talked about in the first podcast, who's been playing really well so far. I'm gonna go with Alec Burleson, for the Cardinals. I know he's been hitting 308 right now with a 972 OPS. Again, another Cardinal that's playing out of their minds right now. I think he's really gonna have a really good week coming up with playing Colorado, playing Pittsburgh, and playing Arizona. In the back half of that. He's a guy that I really think is going to shine out this week, and he's my prediction for the stand-up player of the week.
I like that. I'll move right into mine. I think Brian Hayes is going to have a bounce back week. He's right now 7 for 44. That's 159 batting average. And get this, a 405 OPS.
I saw that.
Atrocious. And he's a guy I'm really high, and I was talking about him last week, like, oh, he's going to be like the GOAT. But you just mentioned they're playing the Cardinals, man. That shitty ass pitching, give
That's
that to
fair.
Brian. Give it to him. My man is gonna eat this week. That's my
That's fair.
prediction.
Yeah, Bryan Hayes, I saw that and I was like, like he's probably in decent, 250, like maybe like a 750, 770 OPS, whatever. And I saw it and I was like, wow, he's really struggling. Like,
He
I did
is.
not know he was struggling that badly. I mean, he'll be good. He's Brian Hayes. He's
He'll
gonna
be fine.
find a way
Yep.
to make up. But Danny, what I wanted to do is a little fun mini game. So there's going to
All
be
right.
three different rounds of this.
Okay.
So you're gonna have the option between four players, and you're gonna pick the player with what you think is the best and worst of this statistic.
Okay. I like that.
So the first one we're gonna do is batting average.
Okay.
So these are all gonna be based in the National League Central.
Mhm.
Um, so first off, we're gonna go with Andrew McCutchen,
Mm.
Bryan Reynolds, Jake Fraley, and Nico Horner.
So it's funny. We've talked about all these guys, so I do know their averages. My question is, are you the average you have for Nico? I don't know if it's the one after tonight's game or not.
I do not think so.
It
So
was before tonight's game, correct?
correct.
So, which means you're a fucking asshole, and Nico Horner is the lowest.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that was my guess for lowest. Um, okay. I know Jake Fraley is the highest.
Mhm.
But obviously, I cheat a little bit. Like I know, like we were
Yeah,
just talking
yeah.
about these guys. Uh, so if he's not the lowest, I guess like okay. So Jake Fraley is the highest, which means Ryan Reynolds is the lowest,
hmm
which
Jake.
is stupid.
hmm Jake Fraley, 370,
Yeah,
which is nuts. Kutch,
28 at bats to be fair, but yeah.
yeah. Kutch, Andrew McCutchen, 357. Nico Horner, 356. Bryan Reynolds, 356. I think Nico just barely had some nod.
Oh, I was gonna say I knew Bryan Reynolds was like one under Kutch. I was so confused. So
Yeah,
Horner is higher now. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So which is kind of crazy because if you told me heading into the year that Jake Fraley, Andrew McCutchen, and Nico Horner were, I mean, Nico Horner's not as crazy, but at least the first two in the top four for batting average in the NL Central, I'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yep, that's absurd. The number one in the division is who, Joey? Dansby fucking Swanson.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
let you continue.
So now we're gonna choose again four players in the National League Central, and this one's gonna be based on RBIs or runs batted in.
I like this.
So we're gonna go off with Brian Anderson,
Hmm.
Nolan Arenado, Willie Adames, and Trey Mancini. And given these numbers are all heading into tonight's game, so not counting today's game.
Okay, thank you. See, it's funny. This game is going to be even more like actually really difficult in mid-season or like at the end of the
Yeah.
season. But because it just started, I'm looking at these stats, but they changed so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so we got Willie, we got Brian Anderson,
Trey Mancini and Nolan
Trey
Arenado.
Mancini, and Arenado. Thank you. RBIs. That's funny because Trey got like 3 RBIs tonight. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll start with the highest. I keep starting with the lowest. I'm gonna say, based off of what I know about Bryan Anderson, I think he is the highest. And my lowest is going to be my lowest. I just talked about. Well, this is tough. Willie, I know Willie has 9. I think, or 9 or 7. I think Trey only has like 4 or 5 going into tonight. So my top is Bryan Anderson. My bottom is Trey Mancini. I get it?
Both are incorrect.
Whoa, okay.
So the lowest is Willie Adames heading into today. He had 7.
Whoa,
Um,
okay.
he had a solo home run today. But besides that, then it goes Trey Mancini at 9 RBIs. Brian Anderson at
Whoa.
10 RBIs, and then Nolan Arenado at 11.
Arnott already is 11, man. Fuck
Mm-hmm.
that guy. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Fucking.
was like, damn, he's already.
I hate him, dude. He's so
I was
good.
like, in the first week we might have a little crazy one. It's like Nolan Arenado. I was like, okay, it's Nolan Arenado. That's
He
probably
must have
gonna.
had he must have had 3 tonight because I have 8 listed here. I didn't look at it, but he
Oh,
must have popped off tonight.
maybe. So now this last one is going to be based on OPS, or on base percentage plus slugging percentage, for those who don't know. And
This one's
just
gonna be harder for sure.
Yeah, and just for any casual fan out there, OPS is a combination of on base percentage, which is how many times a percentage that a player is getting on base, whether it's via hit, via walk. Um, and then slugging percentage is how many bases divided by it's the percentage of how many bases. So like if you hit a single, you would have 250. Then if it was a double, it's 500, a triple, 750, a home run, 1. So it's based on how hard you're hitting the ball necessarily. So like power hitters tend to have higher slugging percentages because they're hitting doubles and home runs. Whereas guys like second basemen a lot of the times are only getting like singles, and so their slugging percentages are a little lower. So it's a combination of both combinations of on base percentage and slugging. When it's a pretty good metric, and we talk about this metric a lot because it gives a good average of a good power hitter and a good contact hitter and puts them into one. So with that being said, so 4 players, we're gonna go with Garrett Mitchell, TJ Friedl.
Oh boy.
I think if that's how you say that.
Yeah.
Nolan Gorman and Patrick Wisdom.
Oh, and this was before going into tonight, correct?
Correct.
So his OPS is high. I think he went over tonight.
Ooh.
This is so hard because it could be any of these
I know.
guys.
That's why.
I'm gonna throw a wild guess out there and say TJ Friedl is number 1 and number 4 is Norman Gorman.
No. So Nolan Gorman is 1 with a 1.034 OPS.
It's Norman or Nolan or Norman.
Nolan Gorman,
Okay, I don't even know his name.
1.034 OPS.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
And the lowest is Patrick Wisdom with a 927
Okay.
LPS.
I figured he was down there. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean that's not even a knock at him. It's just because I was surprised. I knew Garrett Mitchell had a higher OPS because he had a couple dingers in there, and then
Yeah.
the TJ Friedl one kind of was out of left field. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
942. Okay.
For those who are wondering, anything above 750 is like very fucking good for an OPS.
Yeah.
Or maybe like 800 to say like very
No,
fucking good.
7. It's like 750 is like average. So anything above
Yeah.
that's above average, and anything
Right.
above like 850 is like all star. Like you're an all star if you're in above 850.
So let me just tell the crowd real quick as we go into more of the end of the pod. Mike Trout's career OPS is over 1.0. Just want to throw that out there for any people who are hating a little bit. I don't know.
That's
We've
why he's
had
the
some people
goat.
in the comments.
Otani's better.
Let me see. Oh my God. Otani's career OPS 0.888. Fuck off.
Yeah, he's horrible, man.
That's
Can't
actually really
imagine having
good.
that. Yeah, no.
Top of the show.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Oh my goodness. Well, again, everyone, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Make sure to give us a follow on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at @the_Essential Pod. And Danny, with that being said,
YouTube.
oh, and YouTube as well. Again, Mike Trout is the GOAT. Peace.